dynamically starting this stream.
Exactly. As we do.
We are live.
We are 20? 20. Yeah, this is 20, isn't it?
So I believe it's actually 21. So I think I was wrong because I think it's
Hmm.
21. I'll know for certain after doing a little editing today, and then and then I'll get them all, you know, up to date. I
Cool.
just I just have to do the thumbnail and the description and all the tags and crap.
I guess we need more YouTube viral thumbnails, We need YouTube
Yeah,
face or something.
I think we need either YouTube O faces or uh there's going to be potentially, like 170 million TikTok users that might be trickling on into YouTube Shorts or
I wonder why YouTube Shorts didn't take off the way like TikTok. Like why I wonder why it wasn't as successful as
it's pretty damn successful.
Yeah, but people aren't like obsessed with YouTube Shorts the way that they're obsessed with TikTok. Like I
That's
get
true.
I get the
Well,
impression anyway that that's true.
I mean, I would say the reason, but now we're streaming, so I figure I wouldn't go off the rails right off the bat,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no, no, no. Let's
We all know the
yeah,
reason
yeah,
why,
yeah, yeah.
but
Let's zip. No.
yep. Anyway, so yeah, I was
It's nowadays it's so easy to wander into a minefield, isn't
it
it?
is, man. You say one thing and then you go deeper and deeper and deeper. You're like, oh, well, here we go. I'm Alex Jones.
But well, like like on the YouTube O face though. I mean, there's so much good stuff on YouTube. Like I kind of love being on YouTube. There's a lot of just incredible music, a lot of like really cool documentary type stuff that's completely free and everything. So it's an amazing thing. But man, there's a lot of awful clickbait garbage on YouTube. Like so
Yeah. And a lot of that clickbait is what gets the views.
yeah.
And sometimes I'll just stop by like Mr. Beast's channel. And I haven't watched a Mr. Beast video for years, but I'll stop by the channel just to look at how many people view the last like few videos that he's uploaded. And it's like 210 million, 345 million. I'm
That's
just like,
amazing, isn't it?
it is amazing.
Still
Uh
to this day, even after doing it for all these years, it's like
and
in
and
with so much competition and stuff, like what is he doing that people find so enthralling? I don't understand.
and, and so much controversy
Yeah.
surrounding in the past year. People have been making hit pieces on the guy, like
Sometimes they can
all
give you Teflon though, like that makes people like loyal fans. So
well, Mark Zuckerberg, man. I mean, he was a robot that turned into a Giga Chad, and now he's just walking around.
we're wading back into it.
I know. I'm just saying that you know, you could turn a new leaf
Yeah,
if
yeah,
the
pretty quick. Yeah, that's true.
administration is what it is.
Giga chat. I like that. I like
Oh
that.
man. Yeah, well, actually Giga Chad is a the older folk probably don't know this, but it is a term widely used on Twitch, and I think it originated on Twitch, or maybe it
Hmm.
was just a meme from somewhere. But yeah, it's Giga Chad is the guy that has like the beard and the perfect
Butt
chiseled
chin.
chin.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just Giga Chad.
yeah.
But yeah. Any Giga Chad music this week? You messing around with
No,
any
no,
tunes?
I never make Giga Chad music.
No Giga Chad music. All right.
No, I do have something to share, which is also simultaneously my topic for the week, but that's it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Should we jump into that or
Sure, yeah. You
let's
want me to
do
go
it?
first?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Hey, let me prep it on my end. Actually, it is still set to the local interface. So let's turn on Zoom. Alrighty. Oh wow, that is weird. Okay, guess I can't do it that way. Sorry, technical difficulties over here. We're getting there.
Sure thing, sure thing. I've been looking into how to create a Contact 8 instrument. And
Create. Oh, that's interesting. I'm actually surprised you didn't go that route before.
well, it's because I can't play any instruments for real. And don't really I have a bunch of instruments, but I don't think I could ever sample them as good as a real player. And so I gotta
Oh,
find something I just want to sample an
I
instrument and
thought
then use it as an instrument, you know?
I thought you okay, yeah, yeah. I thought you meant like Reactor or something where you create your own synth. But I'm also surprised you haven't done that because that sounds
I,
totally up your alley to
I,
go down the deep end of
I've done that. I've done that in Reactor. I've done the synth module things, but I have not done it from scratch. So just a wavetable synthesizer, create a sound, and then sample that sound across different you know velocities, like maybe 3 or 4 velocities, and then they automatically will go 1 to 127.
Mm,
Uh, and then you could do it that way, and then own it, and it's yours. But I think doing a real instrument of some type and then recording it each note, like for instance, if you did a guitar, right,
hmm.
and did every single note, recorded every single note in different velocities, it'd take a long time.
Yeah.
But then you chop every single one of those up and then you put it into an engine that has all the wells and bells and whistles that complete has, or not complete, but
It would actually be
contact.
it would actually be really difficult to do that because, you'd have to it would take a lot of discipline to get the velocities down exactly, for each note, like velocity 1, 2, 3, like you do
Mm,
soft, medium, hard,
right.
plucks, like it'd be really difficult to get that right across every note, and every string because the strings are different gauges,
And I'm sure
like
that's why guitars rarely sound good on virtual instruments and
yeah, and
sample
like if they
libraries.
do create one, they get professional guitarists to do it who are like, that's their
But
bread
but
and
for
butter. But
instance, if you had a kalimba or
yeah,
something that you could just do different velocities and just and then have an assortment of effects that you can put on there that other VSTs might not have, then it's a little unique in a way where like, oh, I could make music with this. Then you make a badass preview using that thing and you're like, look at what I made using this thing, where you could have
yeah,
used a million other things. But I
right,
mean, that's what virtual instrument companies do in general, so
sure,
it'd be interesting
sure.
to make one. Anyway, so what do we got here? We got a guitar.
We do. This is a Martin OM28, and I recorded this earlier. It's a composition I've been working on. Um, I don't think you've heard. I don't usually use this guitar when recording, but I did this time just because I wanted to try some new stuff. Um, I love this guitar. It is I mean, it's a Martin OM28 spruce top, rosewood back and sides. Um, they usually come with a pick guard, but I play fingerstyle, so I actually had a luthier remove it, which just gives it a cleaner look. And I just adore this guitar. I bought it, um, 2021, I think. So I've not had too long, but I absolutely love it. It's got a gorgeous sound, and the action is just so good on it. I mean, it plays like an electric. It's absolutely wonderful. So, anyway, love this guitar. And without further ado, we should jump in.
Ah, that's an interesting. What was that like? A minor or something, or B minor?
What
What key is that, or what?
E minor?
E minor. E
Mm-hmm.
minor. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a pretty cool little tune there.
Thanks.
Is
Thanks.
that a OG or is that a thing off of another? like a old tune?
Nope, that's an OG.
Ah, do you have do you have I mean, right away I can hear some lyrics would sound good over the top of it
Really? Yeah,
for sure.
I haven't looked into that. Um, but what do you think about the guitar sounds? Because personally, I think this is the best guitar recording I've ever had. Like, it just sounds so good to me.
So it's here's an interesting thing. So this is in Logic right now?
Yes.
Okay. Uh and let's see. We just have a mastering and a reverb after the mastering chain.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yes, it
Um,
is.
because that's not what Logic did. Logic put the reverb first, which doesn't make sense to me.
Wouldn't you want the reverb first?
I don't think so because the way that I look at it, if the if the EQ is doing this to the mix, obviously you want that EQ to happen before you start reverberating the sound out.
Interesting. So I just know that I don't know. That's interesting because now that you're saying that, yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, like if
I
I were EQing out bad frequencies, I would definitely want to do that before I start making the sound huge and giving it a
but
bunch of echoes and stuff.
the issue I think that I see is that you're mastering it and
Hmm.
then you're adding the reverb, which makes it clip like crazy, right? Because your reverb is not. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And as you can see, it is, and it wasn't clipping before. So yeah, that is true. So I think probably the best thing to do would be to here's what I don't like about this. Like can I pick and choose what module to activate or not? Like if I just wanted to give me an EQ curve, can I do that? Because that's actually how I would use this. And I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
so you want to? All I know is that auto EQ slider, maybe that custom EQ button that you're on, actually.
I mean, I no, like I want it to okay, that'll bypass the entire thing. Like I would want it okay, how do I phrase this? Of the things that it's doing, the only thing that I would rather it do than me is the EQ curve. Like I can do this. Like I can handle this part of it. I just wanted to
Mm.
do the EQ, and I wonder if there's a way to do that. And I don't now that I'm thinking about it. Because what my workflow would look like is yeah, to use this so that the EQ is and like as you can see, it was up to here, and I like
Yeah,
calmed it
yeah.
down a lot because I thought this was way too over EQ'd. But if I brought it down to like say if I brought it down to 20%, I think this is pretty good. But I mean,
Have you tried different characters?
we can always do that. Yeah, I did. I tried
Okay,
different characters. Transparent was the best result,
okay.
at least for solo guitar.
And the width I noticed is up. Did you manually put that width up?
No, I didn't touch this except for the
So I
EQ.
think if you put that in the center, that'll be the closest to OG, no?
Probably, but I don't see any I don't see any reason like
It does drastically change the sound though, that width knob.
the stereo image sounds good though in the playback I think, or at least it does to me. But we can try it. Right.
Yeah, mess with that.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
the higher ends are more high when you increase the width.
I think you're right. I think centering it is actually better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds cleaner without the high end kind of doing the reverby type of
Well, yeah,
roomy thing.
yeah. So again, 100%. Like I guess one way you could use this is to kick it off and then just kill
I think
or
that'll, yeah, try
zero
that
this out.
just to see what it sounds like all the way down on each.
Well, this will
And
remove
and
stereo spread, I think.
that excite button, can you click that off? Oh,
That
or
is
that's
off,
on. I
yes.
see. Okay.
I think this will kill the stereo spread. Like this will monoize it. if it's
Let's hear
negative.
it. Wow, it does add a lot of room even halfway. This is much. This is a truer, cleaner signal without the spread,
I'll be damned. You're right. Yeah,
which is interesting. And that correlation thing, I don't even know what that. I guess that's just left and right channels
sounds like it. Yeah.
metering.
Okay, so if I did want to do my approach, it would
Hmm.
be let's just do it from like let's just pretend. Okay, so the reverb sounds pretty good, I think. Like it's the right level, at least by my ear. So let's pretend. So this is what it does sound like. So I think the mastering module actually does help. I mean, the EQ that it suggested was actually pretty good. So let me. All right, so it's doing its thing.
And by the way, it's also mastering. It's analyzing with the reverb present.
Okay, yeah,
So that's another obvious another thing to keep in consideration.
yeah. Let's try that. Well, first of all, like listen to how over EQ'd this is. I think. I mean, that's
Yeah,
really
yeah, it's
too. It's a little crazy. So
sounds super compressed.
so like yeah, that's like the perfect amount.
Honestly, that hump at 50, I can't believe that halfway that's even more crazy because it almost sounds like that hump at 50 is too much right there. Just looking at the EQ in general, and I don't know why the mastering thinks that it needs that low end because here, bypass it real quick and then play just normal.
Yeah, it's plenty bassy.
Plenty of bass, man. We don't have to add any bass to it. It's almost the mids could go up a tiny bit.
Yeah, it's well.
But yeah, I mean I see the
So how do I?
maybe that.
Yeah, I actually haven't custom. I haven't used this in a custom way. Okay, that's the shelf. So that's the low shelf. This is a
Hmm.
weird EQ.
Yeah, I actually haven't dove into this part too much. Actually, I think I did exactly what you did, and I was like, "What?
So like that.
Maybe." Even that little bit, I think, makes it a little bit better.
You can hear Jane sneeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Hmm. No, I'm glad. Oh wait, that was with the width on as well, which we should pop back. Okay, so how do I zero this out? Like, how do I? What would I do if I didn't want this to be a thing?
I
That?
think it's all the way down for each.
No, see, all the way down for this makes it a mono channel. That's a -1.
So the stereo
Like
activates
0.
at 0 then?
No, no, no. I think this is not active. This is negative active, and this is positive active.
So, okay, so oh, I see. So
So this is
interesting.
actually monoing the signal if you put it at negative values.
Okay, that's good to know.
I think. It sounds like it. I don't know about this though. Like, is that dropping the overall volume? So if it's at 0,
I'm pretty sure that's just a compressor.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that, man, that's confusing because that means this has to be at -1 to be inactive, whereas this needs to be at 0 to be inactive, if we're correct.
But I know that at 0, it's adding stereo spread. It is. It's just you could hear it, man. Like put it halfway from the bottom to that, and then
Like that?
yeah, and then put the
It,
loudness like
see, no, this is the kicker is
put the
definitely,
loudness is all the way down, right? So
but
yeah,
listen, I'll bypass it like
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. Sounds cleaner without it.
Yeah,
Isn't that
man,
crazy?
I
It,
don't know.
it sounds cleaner without it.
I mean,
Honestly, it was.
what's the takeaway, I guess? Do we not use it?
So I think
I mean, it sounds pretty good.
it suffers. Yeah, this to me is better to be honest, but it suffers the same thing that all of those AI algorithm things suffer from, and it takes analog instruments and completely blows it out of proportion comparatively to in the box instruments where it usually nails it. So when you're taking audio files and putting processing them the same way we process in the box things,
Mm,
it's just a different beast, man. To me, that without the mastering, it sounds 100% cleaner, better, easier on my ears.
yeah.
The mastering just, you know, brings out all any type of little finger movement and it's almost like having a noise suppressor on when it's normal, and then when it has the master on, the noise suppressor goes away and you can hear every little thing.
Well, so hold on, play it real quick. 20 bassy
Mm-hmm.
and good high end too. I mean, to be honest, like I don't think you need a whole lot of EQ, if any. I mean, I don't know if I'd EQ it at all. It sounds pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah, with that QRS on there, without the QRS, how does it sound? Just curious how much that's affecting.
I think the QRS helps personally.
It does, it
Like
does.
you have a little
Adds
silk
a
cut.
little air, uh, but the master adds way too much air. I feel like, or it makes it too loud almost. And then you try to manipulate it, and then it kind of just kills its soul a little bit.
Yeah,
Weird.
this is just set to studio. So it's a small space set to studio and just set it and forget it. So anyway, what my topic for the day was like what I was looking for today, this morning was I want to be able to just like set it and forget it with guitar recording. Like I do not want to think about it. I do not want to spend I want to spend time writing and practicing and recording music, not setting up equipment and dialing knobs and stuff. Like so that was the idea here, which was it was recorded without any EQ. It was 12 inches from the 12th fret in an XY configuration. So there's two mics XYing over top of one another. They're the KM 184s, which are really good mics. They sound terrific. Um, both mic channels are set at 36 dB and a VC2A on each channel set to 40%. And that was it. And so like what I'm hoping is if I do that for everything, it'll sound, good. And I can just take that as a default setting, essentially.
So, are you planning to potentially use this as a template to add also different instruments from in the box, or is this all going to be just
No,
guitar stuff?
I think just solo guitar.
Okay, yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds like a pretty solid plan. I mean, honestly, save this as is and follow those things, and this sounds even without the master. I mean, this is pretty damn clean sounding.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, I'd get a better take down. I'd probably record at night, so there's less noise around the house and that kind of stuff. But I mean, eventually, like, I do want to get an album or something, which is of just solo guitar, like either a combination of original pieces and, arrangements of traditional tunes that I've done. Like, that's kind of the idea.
Hell yeah,
Um,
Hell yeah.
And like maybe accompany it with recordings of playing it and then post that on YouTube as an album, like a YouTube album. So, and
Yeah, that would be the ultimate. Get a little setup and then just record every track in the same spot, have it on
yep.
video, boom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd
Yep.
be
And then
killer.
6 people can look at it and then we can be good.
Bam, I'll be the seventh and I'll go, hell yeah, here's your second thumbs up, dude. Jane was number one, but
We
I
yeah,
got number
exactly.
two.
My brother and yeah, we know what we're about, man. We've been doing this long enough. We know exactly what we're doing.
It is, you know what it is, man? I think it's just we're just too timid. We don't want to get into the Mark Zuckerberg topic. So no, it's not spicy enough for the average viewer, and
That
it
is
is what it
true,
is,
and we
man.
we need the O face. We really do. We just gonna
I
have to
th-
bite the bullet and do it.
I mean, we could both just do it now. I could screenshot it, and then I could just have that as every single one of our templates, and I guarantee you will get a increase of at least
Of
1.3% views, dude.
1.3%.
Yeah,
Is it
at
worth selling
least.
your soul though? I
Yeah,
don't
it is 100%. What is a soul? Do we have a soul?
Yeah, you gotta have one to begin with, right? But
God
what
damn it.
about you, man? What's going on?
Well, let's see. Let me share my. Actually, let me switch my audio first. I was just gonna do a two little tricks. Nothing
Tricks.
tricks for kids. Uh, Zoom. First one. My favorite way to do sidechain compression, or what
Ooh,
some people would say dithering. Uh,
that is a perennial topic.
yes. And then how to take that side chain and completely transform the rhythm. And it's a fun exercise anyone can do if they have Logic Pro X. So let's jump into this. So we got Logic here. We have a piano.
Piano.
Make sure everything's closed out down here. Move this over here. Okay, we are in it. So what I'm going to do is just add a. I actually did have the project, but I saved over it like a genius. So I'm just gonna add a synth ARP. Um,
Big cheeks.
big cheeks. So
Your go-to.
go to synth ARP. I'm also going to add a uh, the way side compression works mostly is you have a centralized sound that occurs during the track that will duck out a secondary sound every time that sound triggers. There's a many ways to do sidechain compression. There's plugins dedicated only for sidechain compression. However, in this, we are going to be just using something everybody can use. This is free on Native Instruments website, all these patches. So we're just going to pick a, we want like a pad. Perfect. So I'm just going to do a chord and I'm going to let that chord ring out. Sounds insane. Okay. I'm actually going to change that instrument because that's going to be annoying. Uh,
Yeah, it's a little intense.
Forest flutes might be better. Let's make sure this is quantized to eighths.
I mean,
Okay,
slightly better. Maybe a
slightly
lateral
better.
move. Yeah.
Yeah, not much better, right? At all. What we can do to make this slightly better is just reduce this one octave so it's a little warmer. And now we add a kick of any type.
So would you
Doesn't
reach for the that Native Instruments one?
so
Um, what is it? Track. Yeah.
actually I like kick, track O one kick. So this is just like track, but it's
Minus
only,
the bass. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I like starting with Dissident. So pick a key, any key you want, and just record 4 on the floor.
Perfect.
Perfect. And then we
You ready
loop
for the club?
loop that. Now the magic begins. So one last time, I'm going to change this instrument because we can't have this going on here. It's just going to sound absolutely horrendous. But we do need
Man, it
some.
you know what this illustrates is how hard it is to find a good pad. Like,
Okay, Neon Dreams. Exactly, exactly.
it still sounds like hell.
It does. I'm actually going to get rid of that.
Yeah, part of it was that dissonant note. Oh, beautiful. There you
Okay,
go. That's
so
better.
we have a pad and we have a kick. Now, what we want to do is on instrument 2 where the pad is, we want to add a solid bus compressor. And
Okay.
then in the side chain, we go into instrument 3, which is the kick, and we
Okay.
assign that there. And the side chain gain, I turn that button on, and then we listen. So every time the kick is hitting, you can see that that compressor is going crazy,
It's scooping the pad out for every kick, right?
and you can increase this. And since this pad is pretty airy, so usually you would have like a sawtooth or some kind of more of a thing, but still works for the example. You can hear it
Very
ducking out.
cool.
And the last thing to put on the cherry on the top is, say you have something like this, and you have something like let's just do something like, okay, great. Now we have an arpeggiator thing, and this is what it sounds like this. Let's quantize that. So we got, so very standard arpeggiated 4/4
Yep.
rhythm, right?
Sounds great.
Now we push it to the next level by testing out what I like to mess around with a lot is called beat breaker. So I put a beat breaker on here, then I change it to instant triplets, and that same feeling, that same vibe you just heard, listen to how drastically it shifts. Sometimes you want to play with the BPM, but we'll hear what it sounds like originally. And from this, right away, you have obviously a triplet feel, and the entire emotion, feeling, everything of the whole entire track drastically shifts, and you didn't change any MIDI at all. This is just an effect that you're placing on top.
So, is the beat break, is that an arpeggiator technically?
So the beat break just takes whatever audio is playing at the time and forces it into triplets.
So where's the arpeggiator in Logic?
Oh, so the arpeggiation for the synth arp,
No, no, like,
or
well, just for any, like, what actually what I wanted to ask about was, we always use these kinds of tools with synth instruments, and like I'm thinking, well, why can't you arpeggiate a string? Like, why can't you
oh, you
have a
can.
bass string and to get like a chugging arpeggiated bass? And does it sound good if you do so?
So one of my favorite things to do of all time is to simply add a like a cello pluck, for instance. And this is a very, this is a pizzicato, pizzicato rather. And so this is a very acoustic, and but then you put an arpeggiation on it. And what I like to do after putting an arpeggiation, because right away it sounds like this. What I like doing is just to accentuate the sound too. I'm just gonna throw one of these on there because
Wait,
this
wait,
is a.
hold. Where's the arpeggiation?
Oh, my bad. I can do it to multiple ways. Right now, it's just using the complete control.
No, no, I meant through Logic. Like,
Oh, okay, okay.
does
Let me.
Logic have an
Right.
arpeggiation tool that's like really robust?
So usually I always use complete, but yeah, they do have what I used to do back in the day. Is Oh, it's actually okay. So this is why it's hard to find. So it's under MIDI effects. So,
Oh,
and then under
arpeggiator.
here you have a bunch of stuff. So, for instance, this arpeggiation. Let's see. And then you can change 1/16 to 1/8.
And that's you. You're playing a chord, right?
I'm playing a chord, right? Oh yeah, I
What if
can
you play
just.
a single note?
I'll pop up this guy right here. So a single note.
Can Can you do me a favor? Can you change that to like a bowed double bass type sound? I'm
Sure.
just curious what that sounds like.
Bowed double bass. So not a cello.
Like just a sustained double bass. Cello
Oh,
cello would probably be fine, but just like a sustained note. I was just curious what that sounds like.
all right. I'll try just cello then.
Yes, he doesn't sound as good, does it?
So
What about a chord? It still sounds really robotic, you know?
that's why right away, if you put a pizzicato, toss one of these on there like crazy, put a couple effects, then all of a sudden, yeah, right out of the box, it'll never sound
Yeah.
great, but a lot of air.
Yeah, that's really weird sounding.
Can remove that.
Try it. Oh yeah, there you go.
So
Yeah.
the problem with a lot of the sample libraries versus the traditional VSTs with synths and crap is that each one of those samples are being recorded, right? So when you're playing the actual sample, it has to play in a wave file,
Hmm.
uh, and if you're triggering that wave file a bunch of times in a row, it's not going to act the same way as if you're triggering like a synth engine. It's going to be more snappy if it's from a engine, synth engine, or a wavetable synthesizer.
Hmm.
So like
Yeah.
samples like this, you really, I bet one way to help is if the instrument has like attack settings, that you can. So for instance, I turn this up.
Yeah, and that sounds terrific.
Like you couldn't really. I mean, you could tell that it's an arpeggiation, but where it kind of draws the lines is when you do things like this. Let me up the arpeggiation rate on this to 1/16. So things like this, stuff like this can really work well
Yeah,
if it's in the mix and you don't even like the arpeggiation aspect of it is not even in your mind. You just think that it's kind of,
texture. It's like texture. It's like and it sounds pretty organic actually, or at least the first one did. Yeah.
and obviously Replica's doing all the work there. Whoa. You can really hear the arpeggiation with these notes without the Replica.
Mm.
It's almost like this or the bottom note is way more present every time rather than when you have the
Oh,
replica on
right.
there
Well, yeah, and that
because it melts together kind of.
what I was kind of searching for is like, you know, very often when you do an orchestral composition, you want a kind of rhythmic bass section to lay a foundation. So
Right.
and so I'm trying to think like, okay, like how do you accomplish that without actually playing the notes individually? Um,
So yeah, so once you yeah, making it sound
Energetic, like you want it to have an energy to it, like a
so this is another, instead of just going up with all your notes, you're going up and down, so it
Mhm.
adds that versus you can hear the duh, duh,
Yeah.
duh, duh, and
It's
then
a
when it goes up
washing
and
machine.
down, it almost gets lost. You can hear the duh, 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 over and over
Well,
versus
and
just a
you can mess with variation, I think, too, by cranking that up. If you crank up variation to
oh right.
4,
Let's do that. Right. Right. Now it's a lot more organic. It more humanized rather in a way, even though it's more I don't know, that's a
yeah,
weird one. It's a weird one.
yeah, that's interesting though.
Octave range, let's try.
That's
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
honestly, yeah. I
That's pretty
mean,
cool.
there's definitely some possibilities for this thing.
See, this is why I asked, and I'm glad that you bought it because I've never seen this tool because I wasn't looking in the MIDI effects.
Right.
But personally, I like the level of control that that gives you versus doing it on the keyboard.
Okay, so
And it's in the Logic project, so you can adjust the settings more easily. Like,
the reason, yeah, I do agree that it does have some cool stuff, but the reason why I always fall back to Logic every single time, I always jump back to good old this thing right here, the arpeggiation. Uh, and we have to click that tab. It's always a pain in the ass to even get in this little thing, but once you're here, uh, you can like do different things, even though. So I'll do that same thing. Okay, uh, that's 16th. Now let's change this sequence to like 5, and we'll change this to like eighths. We'll do that again. So everything's still in time, obviously, but the sequence of the arpeggiation changes so much so that it's, let's try like 7. It's kind of slow, so let's turn this up so you can really hear what I'm talking about. So it's keeping the time, but it's giving you the opportunity to inject some other rhythm into your track without having to abide by the normal arpeggiation of or
okay, so you like that it gives you
uh,
more variation sequence options than.
yeah,
Mm,
that are all still in time, that adds a little flavor sometimes, and that's why I go back to this thing. Of course, it's also that I never do this part by mouse. I always just go on my keyboard itself, and I like I can just click a few buttons and be in arpeggiation mode. Have a good day, like.
mm.
But you're right, like um it's visually probably easier to do it with the Logic version, but the same is with the automation. Like you can do the automation on all this stuff you see here incomplete, just the same you can do the automation as on the MIDI effects with the
Mhm.
arpeggiation. So I guess it's just preference really.
Yeah, yeah.
Because yeah, you can do the octave stuff here too, and but yeah, maybe I'll try out that arpeggiation more from the MIDI effects from tracks, the up
Mm.
and down, and that 4 octave thing is kind of cool because you could have like just a simple chord and have a whole initial beginning to your track almost.
Yeah, 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 definitely. And I've heard people do that, especially with synth work type stuff. I am curious to see what that arpeggiator sounds like on a big like a plucked double bass and whether that would give you a floor to an orchestral track or not. I'm kind of curious.
Let's see here.
And what I'm thinking of is, the action strings or whatever.
Action strings too.
Yeah, it like, but I don't like using action strings because it seems like I'm using a loop. But so I want to get something like action strings that has that energy to it, but isn't a loop, and I think arpeggiation would be the way to do it. But unless I'm
S-
not using action strings correctly, like, is there a way to do it?
So yeah, action strings is a fun one to dive into. So uh, action strings. So we'll do. So for instance, this will always be uh and it's cool because you can actually see what's going on here.
Hmm.
You can click into these and you can change uh the standard notation of any of these notes up here. Right now we have just the high ends and the low ends. So the low ends are doing a or whatever that, or is that F or A? I don't
It's
know.
an
I don't know how to
F.
read. Yeah, okay. F F F F. And then the
Oh, actually, sorry, that was bass clef. I have no idea. Um, the treble clef is A.
okay, so this is high, that's A,
Yeah,
and
that's A.
then this is
I
F.
assume that's A too, actually. I think they're both A.
So what this is telling us is that every time I hold D down, for instance, here I'll open up the every time I hold down D, it's playing F and uh A at the same
See,
time.
that confuses me. Why? That's confusing.
Okay, so let's
Like, I guess
go.
what I would want is something like that, but if I hit A, I want it to be an A. So, you know what I'm saying?
So we can, let's see here. I've been in here a minute. There is a way to actually click into, let's see, editor. Yes. So say we want, okay, we want to, obviously we can do that, but it's a way to actually, you can get into these notes and change them to a different part of the, um,
Hmm.
but honestly, like, hold on,
When you hit a
I,
different,
go ahead.
like hold down an A actually on your keyboard. Okay, now hold down the D right above it. Now hold down like E. Yeah, so that is changing notes.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
it's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's it's playing what you're playing. So that's why I chose specifically basic rhythms A, basic rhythms B, because a lot of these things, you know, let's go to air combat.
Right.
You have all this crap in there,
Right, which is like a loop. Yeah, that's
and obviously all these different variations. So if you go to
yeah, like I would
this,
want that rhythm, but not the melody, I guess is what I would want out of that.
so for instance, we have a clear palette now, right? So when I hit D on the thing, nothing's triggering at all.
Hmm.
And from here, uh, we can add the type and then the feel and then the meter. And I believe if we go to a phrase, then we go off the rails. So say, for instance, we
You
want
want
basic
basic
rhythm,
rhythm, 4/4.
4 4 4,
Sure.
boom. So
Okay. Yeah, that's close. That's
and so let's go a little faster so we could because this is actually where this instrument does shine in the sense of using it in compositions, is that it doesn't suffer from the thing we've been talking about with
yeah,
arpeggiation
it's sounding.
and this is obviously with nothing on it. This is dry
Yeah.
out of the box, so of course you'd want a touch of something on there. even that alone is a great backing tool for a big production, epic production that you don't have to staccato go, da, 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 da,
Yeah,
da,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was looking for, man. That's good.
Hell yeah, perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I guess I always just cycled through the precepts and was like it sounded like loops, and so I always avoided it.
There is also, I don't know if you've ever seen this. There's emotive strings, or no, sorry. Wait, is it emotive strings? It is. So it's action strings version of strings. So what? So like something like this, right?
Oh man, I do have emotive strings.
So this is just straight up a. And obviously in the playback or the slots themselves, this is kind of a similar thing where you change what you want it to sound like, and then it sounds like that better than it would if you were doing it with individual
Mm,
notes, you know. But again, you know, like you can achieve what this thing can do with individual notes if you
yeah,
do it correct, right?
right,
It's
right, right.
it's just a pain in the ass. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's that.
cool.
Yep, that was
Yeah, that's super
production
helpful.
talk and yeah, yeah. Or actually, I think let's see if I actually do that. There was one very small thing. I believe it's this. So I jump back into the potential very long track, trying to tackle it again to see if it's possible with variation through an 8 hour segment and stuff. And so, is this what I was doing? Is this? Sorry, it must have been this
Holy
one.
reverb.
Yeah, there's no reverb on that, surprisingly. That thing actually had Beat Breaker on it, which was even funnier. I think it's this one here though. If it's not this one, I think this is supposed to be it. I'll just yeah. And right away when I hear it, I go, man, there's too much flute going on. There's too much going on already. And it's really hard to doing an 8 hour thing is like really it stretches your mind to the max because you have to think like if somebody skips forward 6 hours into the track, is it going to just sound exactly what it sounded like when they were 2 hours in the track, or when is it going to change? Is it going to be evolution? Is it going to be completely different but similar? It's one of those things, and so I went down the
Yeah,
rabbit hole and I was playing
yeah,
with timbres and
it's harder than you'd think.
it really is.
Yeah.
That's why I find it fascinating, to be honest, is like there's so many of them and so many good ones that I go, wow, like I've been making music for a long time and I've never been able to make a successful 8 hour thing like that. Like if somebody said, hey man, I got this video, I'll give you $500, give me the 8 hour track of, I'd be like, shit. I,
You know what I would do? Yeah, the way I would approach it would be, you know how you've got chords laying down the whole texture and bedrock instrument 1 and 3, right?
one, two, really. Oh, sorry. Yeah. One and three. Yeah. Yeah. First
Um
two tracks.
what I would do is zoom way out in the Logic project and copy those out for I don't know, an
Forever.
hour probably. And then I would change the chord and then change the chord a little bit after half an hour and then go back to, and then
Woo!
whenever the chord changes, I would change up the melody that's playing. Like I jam with the new chord for a while and then repeat that to give it some, yeah, that's
I
how I would approach it. But
I think where I got stuck here is the flute is very melodic, right? And so hearing that thing over and over and over and over every few measures or bars or even every 5 minutes hearing that same thing over it won't work. Like like the human mind needs to like this could just play. I think even that bell is is sus on my radar, like going, is this going to be annoying playing that bell over and over and over? But like this right here, I
when
could
the
see
the
being able
pad
to.
the pad might be too much too. Like too that might be too busy for 8 hours.
This guy right here, or the other one.
I think the other one. That might be too busy for eight
Too busy.
hours. Yeah. And yeah, 100% your flute, it's probably got to be more sparse than that. And you probably just want to like get in the zone and jam with it and have your learn mode on your keyboard so you don't hit a wrong note and just just jam with it for
As
a long
long,
time. Like
just as long as
get into a
possible, right?
meditative state and just play for like 2 hours and
Yep. I mean, that really is kind of I think the golden way to do it is just to have a really long jam and then just loop that thing after a certain point, or at least change the instrument on it, have the same melodic phrase, but just different little
and
things.
then have a chord change and then do that and then later have a chord change and then do the same melodic jamming for the chord change and then go back. Yeah, I don't know. It would suck. I wouldn't like making music that way, but that's the way I would approach it. But I don't think it would be fun.
I mean, I've heard some of these 8 hour long Gregorian chant track things, right? And I skip through it, I listen, and I'm like, how the hell is this all different music? Like, and there's bunches of them. Like I honestly I don't understand how it works. I don't understand what they're
Mm.
doing in order to achieve that much original music. Like I have so many libraries and so many vocal things. Like how are they allow? Maybe it's AI or something. I don't know. Like it's
Yeah,
confusing. It's
could
really
be.
confusing. But yeah, that's another that I was working on just more timbre stuff this week that ends up you go on for days when it comes to like timbre of a background setting or something.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, so that is production talk.
All right. Is it coin flip time?
Yes, sir. Should we take a quick intermission, or
I'm good. Are you good?
I'm just gonna fill up my coffee real quick,
Okay.
and you wanna, or yeah.
Okay, so emotive strings. That's
You
basic combi.
just gotta click into the standard notation. Uh,
Oh, here we go. Low. So basically, I want something lower. Does that mean?
yeah,
Or
try.
dang it, that check. I clicked the wrong one, unfortunately. Low. This is what I'm. Okay. Yeah, that's. Oh, even better. Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Hell yeah. And you have
Yeah.
the expression halfway as well. I don't know if I think it actually goes much louder than that. I'm pretty sure. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
that's pretty intense logic. So you can fade in like that. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was looking for. That's neat. I can't believe I haven't used that before. I guess I just assumed that there were all those kind of Pirates of the Caribbean like loops, or a lot of them sounds like they are.
Uh, one more thing on action strings, though, if you have a good thing going on uh, in your standard notation section, you can actually just drag it straight onto your track as MIDI and then edit from there as well.
Ooh, so then you could use better string instruments. Like,
Then you can use their
oh,
arpeggiation, their MIDI for different instruments. That's actually primarily what I used to use Action Strings 2 for. I would take that and then I'd put it into Cinematic Studio Strings for their staccato or whatever. And
interesting. Okay, hold on. I'm loading action strings.
so yeah, from if you do I believe it's the keyboard on the top right.
This thing.
Yeah. Okay, so now run just press play or spacebar
Mm-hmm.
and then hit some notes, whatever. Like now it's recording your MIDI performance. And so now you can stop recording and then drag that, sorry, right underneath, yeah, that thing. Yeah, drag that into the thing. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. You got the beach ball of death.
You crashed my computer, man.
Here we go.
Okay, that's a little weird. Action woodwinds. Bum bum. Okay.
And it
Yeah.
even, it even has that velocity
Yeah,
difference with
adjustment. Yeah,
the
yeah.
engine. So
Okay.
that's good
Which
for very
which
fast lines and stuff.
yeah, yeah, which this gives it some realism too.
Correct. Correct.
Nice. Okay,
And
cool.
then you take that realism within the MIDI and then you put it onto some orchestral tools
Yeah, yeah,
strings and
exactly.
then boom.
That's a good trick. I like it.
Hell yeah. All right, should we do the coin flip?
Coin flippage.
Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. Also, I did a little bit of still messing with it, but I changed up Bending Star a little bit.
Did you?
I did. Let's go there. So, it's changed up the
Oh man, that looks sweet.
we,
Oh, you
you
got
know,
rid of the temple. Yeah.
no more temple, so now everything's
Oh,
a
that is sweet. I love it.
little cooler, right? So
Oh man, that looks terrific.
the only thing I've oh, also the YouTube, we have all the YouTube now instead of just the 10 videos forever. There was a okay, so this part I still need to figure out how to
Yeah, show it.
yeah, so yeah, when you go to chord progression, for instance, it has all the perfect like things that you can just kind of cycle
Ah,
through,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
That's
then
a
each one, but it's really, I don't know, it's a pain in the ass for some reason. I had it working for a little bit, but then something happened. But let's go to flip.
that is really cool though, man. The site looks terrific. I love the Art Deco is definitely the look for us, I believe.
Yeah, I tried getting close to Art Deco copperplate font as
Hmm.
possible, and that one I was like, oh, you know what, that's not bad at all. I'll just keep that for now. And all righty, here we are with the flip. You haven't had much luck with the
I
flips,
have not.
so I
Let's
mean,
tails. I'm calling tails.
you're calling tails. Okay, I have heads. Let's get it. Woo! 3 times in a row, baby. Man, I am the
Oh man.
goddamn. I have this rig somehow, but it's impossible because you choose it. So this is amazing.
Yeah, I know. Man,
The
that
f-
is amazing. Okay, I'm up.
okay, let me stop sharing here. Okay,
All right.
that's the most exciting part of the stream, I think, right there. We just clip the flip parts to YouTube Shorts, man. We'll be blowing up in no time, dude. People want to see flip.
All right, let's start a timer, shall we?
Yes, sir, and I shall shut this mic off.
All right,
Good.
and three, two, one, composer. Boom. All right. Amazing painting. I love it. Obviously very classical. Great colors, really dramatic. Obviously very dramatic, heroic, tragic too. I mean, there's a lot of falling. There's both rising and falling. So musically, I'm thinking something kind of triumphant, but in a minor key, probably D. Yeah, yeah, probably D minor is what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking definitely orchestral. So let's start. And there's definitely going to be some horns for sure. Um, so let's get. Boy, things are running slow today. Not sure why that is. That's just a better This is a better spot on the keyboard for that. Okay, let's 120 is probably fine. I don't want it to be too slow. I want it to be sort of energetic. Let's try to get a melody down real quick. Okay, I like that. So that's a pretty good just bass theme. I'm going to quantize, quantize. Perfect. Okay, awesome. I like it. Do not know what the chords are for that, which is always the trick to the way I tend to make music, which is to just record legato lines first, but we will figure it out. Let's see, what do we want? Low, flautando. Actually, that was pretty good. Why didn't I record that? Might be able to repeat that. I'm not sure. Let's try it. Let's see if it works. Actually, I don't think it's gonna work. So let's. don't have time for that. Let's try looping it. Maybe it's close. Not too bad, actually. That's pretty close. I think these last couple notes are probably need to be adjusted. Excuse me. Okay, I don't know how to easily I don't know how to easily adjust that. Um, there we go. Maybe that works. All right, that'll do for now. Cool. All right, let's see what else we can get here. Actually, that sounds pretty cool. Something like that. Actually, I don't think I need to play that. Or maybe I just play it once. I think I can basically repeat those notes. It's weird because that's like an A minor chord. I wonder. There we go. I think that's going to work better. Does that work? I don't know why that's. Oh, having the metronome on would help. Those are the notes I want. 3, 4. Perfect. I mean, well, not perfect, but good enough. Let's see what that sounds like. Something went wrong. I think we went eighth notes. Yeah. Perfect. Love it. Nope. See, it's the reason I don't like the loop because I rarely actually want to loop something. So at the end, this is going to be different. So we just want this coda to be different. All right. Okay. Now the hard part. Bringing it all together, which with a main theme, we got 5 minutes, plus we got to do Quantec, my new go-to large room. This is being played in a where? Concerto. sounds pretty cool. If I had time, I would definitely put in like a timpani. Maybe I can get to that. It depends on how quickly I can get a high string section in here too. There's the legato. It'd be better if I could read it, but yeah, sure. Let's start that over again. Look, it's almost too much. The reverb's sort of throwing me off. And metronome on. We got 4 minutes. We're good. I mean, not too inspiring. That could be better, but I kind of do want to see what like a big drum sounds like in here. All right, 2 minutes. This is tin temp temp. Timpanis by themselves always sound really funny to me. Come on. This is always the interesting bit, but we definitely have the right metronome on. Here's I'm just gonna try repeating that and cranking up the volume and see if that'll work. Something like yeah, something like that maybe. Yeah, I mean pretty close. I think I'm kind of running out of time. I think the instrument could be better, like maybe not even a timpani, but like a bass drum of some kind. But yeah, I don't know. I don't might not have time to do that, but let's see if we're gonna end it on a high note. Oh, perfect. All right, I'm calling it right there, man. That's it. We can cancel that bad boy.
Timer is up.
Whew, off.
Alrighty.
Well, unfortunately, we've already heard it basically, but let's get the I think this is it. No. Hold on. Let me stop sharing real
Yes,
fast.
sir. Yes, sir.
Make sure I find it. Swear I did. There it is. Okay, we're good. All right. Ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready. Think you nailed it. Nailed it in 15 minutes with that painting. It definitely it's epic, gr epic. I mean, obviously the horns is what makes that right. So like if you didn't have the horn line in there, it would be
Gotta
like,
have the
what
horn
the hell's
section.
going on around here? Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
I
hear it
mean,
without the horns. Actually, the strings do a lot of weight. I kind of like it without the horns, to be honest. That's funny. You know why? Because I can hear
all the
instrument
what the
three.
strings are doing. Well, it's probably just a mixing. Like the
Yeah.
horns are mixed
It's
too
loud.
high.
It is
So
very
like
loud. Yeah.
if I mix these lower, I
Right.
bet, and maybe the timpani, although the timpani makes the track, if you ask me.
Yeah, that timpani. Yeah, much better lower.
I actually like I like how subtle the bass change is because when this bass drops at 15, it's really fast, but it gives you this really epic feeling for some reason.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And it's interesting because like, we've been doing the painting thing for, last few sessions, and it's like it's almost like it's definitely different on the way we do it with the videos, because I think on the videos back in the day it was almost like the length of the video dictated what we were doing on the canvas, right? So
Mm-hmm.
and you
With
knew
the
when it.
painting, there's no length, so yeah, you can,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes, there's no length and there's no way to say, hey, this is how this starts, hey, this is what's going on. And so the method of, I kind of want to try it. I'll probably fail miserably if I do, but I kind of want to try your method of composing with just having melodic lines
Oh, I
as.
just choose every instrument legato. That's basically that's usually how I compose. It probably sounds weird, but like I hardly ever use sustained instruments. Like I just don't have much use for them for the most part.
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, yeah, you gotta definitely know, you gotta be definitely comfortable with the key that you're in if you're gonna compose with the melodic lines, though. I
yeah,
think it
because
had.
it's all scales, like it's all scales at that point. But I mean I just find it more fun to sort of weave them in and out, like I just find creating it that way, the weaving the lines is the part that I really enjoy.
Right,
It
right.
can be really infuriating too though, because you can really get yourself in a tight spot. Um but yeah, I almost never start with chords, start with the melody and then build from there. But
And usually, yeah, I'll start with chorded and then have a melody on top, or derive the melody from the chord and then switch it up a little bit.
yeah, and like we've talked about before, the reason that I do this is because the reason that I do it this way is because the melody is the heart and soul of the piece. And so if you concentrate on that, everything else will kind of fall into place and like yeah, I guess that's the only way I put it. Like the main theme, the main melody is really the heart and soul of it. So um I just kind of choose that as my starting point usually. But yeah, different ways to do it, obviously. And
Like when I hear epic music or music that I like that is very emotional, I think the reason why I do pick chords a lot is because I would say the majority, I would 90% plus of those type of tracks that I do listen to have a very uh nice chord progression that's in your face kind of dealy where
Mm.
the listener can almost like a hook, but they're using it as a chord progression, so that emotional feel that you have with the chord progression remains throughout the track, but then the melodic, line on top or whatever can change and then create a completely different emotion than the original line that was on top of that chord that progresses the track into, something epic.
Yeah, it is interesting because like if you look at this, um well that this is a chord. So it's so
Right,
this has a
right.
chord structure, but it's not just sustained chord notes, I guess, would be the difference. And I'm not so yeah, that I guess that would be one difference.
A
Mm,
good test that I'd like to hear. I mean, if you're down for it, if you save this as like something else, and then save it as like piano test or something. Um, and
Actually I'll save this
yeah, save this
project as
actually. Yeah, might as well.
um cool.
Heavenward.
Cool. All right, what would you want to try?
Okay, so I was just gonna, if you add a your favorite piano track,
Okay. That would be old delicate piano, old
Delicato,
faithful.
and then move that track to the top,
Okay. Boom.
and then highlight all of the MIDI, and then right click and go to bounce and join about halfway down, and then hit join, and then move that up to the piano. And I'm just
Oh
curious
wow.
what this
That is a
sounds
cool
like.
trick, man. I like that.
Because this in strings or different timbre, there's a bunch of possibilities that this might alone sound amazing just on an instrument. But yeah, let's hear what it sounds like on piano.
That is a very cool trick. I like
Might
that.
might sound horrible. I don't know.
Or it might not sound like anything.
Huh.
Oh, that's oh, hold on. I don't I'm lost. Instrument 6.
Oh, it's not turned on.
How did that
Or
happen? Okay, yeah, yeah. All right.
oh, that's weird.
It's like
It's good to
jazzy.
hear though. It's good to hear though. Because at the most fundamental level, that's what's happening.
Wow, that's so weird. I wonder what the timing issues. I wonder what that stems from.
So another fun trick, right? Highlight all of it and then quantize it into sixteenths and hear what this sounds like. Interesting. So yeah, probably eighths would be smartest with this MIDI here. Now to look at it. Yeah. Even that is off, which is interesting. Actually, no, that sounds better.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, well. Okay, so let's see here. I just gotta switch somewhere here. Zoom.
So it's a kind of battle of the epic paintings. Yours is a little different epic, but it's the
Yeah,
School of Athens by Raphael. So
let's get a piano. Gonna start off with just a piano. Oh, Come on, beach ball. There we go. Okay, let's share.
Okay, and I'm gonna go dark.
Yes, sir. Okay, or
Then the timer, you want me to do it?
4:15. Or 4:14. I'll just do it by time. Okay, so what do we have here? We have a painting. And so the other one that I sent was definitely epic, more epic, and a lot more action going on. This feels to me like uh curiosity of what it is to live as a human in the condition that they lived in at that time. It seems a lot of reflection is happening, and also just social constructs being created from the earliest, uh, some of the earliest, civilizations. Anyway, it kind of feels like it's not bright. It's not. I want to lean towards a minor because it's not really that bright, but it has kind of a like it's a bright room and you see the blue clouds in the sky, and so it's like it's supposed to be kind of light. So, but the clothing and stuff seems a little dreary, but that's just all right. Anyway, enough of that. Let's jump into some music here. So, I wanted to try the melodic line thing, but I might be too much of a wimp to do that. We might try it though. Might try. Let's get a let's just get a string in here. Sustains. So, kind of like a little bit of sadness, but kind of like hopeful, hope. Okay, wasting time here. I'm doing it. We're going straight to Metropolis, and we are gonna choose a. We're gonna go legato, and we're gonna do. Just gonna do children's choir. Why not? Let's see. Right off the rip, got a little bit of this on here. All right. Okay. Let's clean this up a little bit. And let's add a. Oh, yeah, I know. Right off the rip. Right in the background. We're going to add a little bit of classic, but we're going to make it very subtle here with a couple tricks. Um, was it oh yeah. Almost forgot there. So we're going to use something like this, but it's going to be very subtle, very, very subtle. So first we just add this. And what we want to do is change this to QRS reverb. Take down that dry. And then I'm going to add a ozone 11 equalizer. And I'm going to warm up that sound by just scooping out all this right here. And then we're going to quantize this. Okay, and then we're going to add another one of these guys, which is Metropolis Arc. We're going to add let's see, strings. We want a swell. Put a little bit of reverb on there. And we're going to try doing the thing. So far too loud, but I'm glad I have my thing working now. All right, let's get up here, switch this MIDI up. We're going to move this down. One. We need to brighten this up because it's way too dark. And we do that by a little bit of maybe a little bit of harp in here. I'm going to turn this down a little bit again too. Trick. Oh no. No. Yeah, do whatever you want. Oh, I lost it. Oh, let's try one of the things there. Let's try it. Harp sounds like ass with that. We need to extend this to. I'm just going to do this. This is how long the track will be. Need one of these for sure. Ring. for bass in this thing. Let's fucking repeat that. Have a good day. Took a risk, and I probably shouldn't have. Well, got time. And if I had a little bit more time, I'd go into here, and I got 1 minute left on here. I would just go like this. That's already a fucking disaster anyway. Who cares? Uh, yeah, I probably should have just done my old school technique of making tracks not that way.
Well,
Uh,
what would you have done differently?
I
Like how would you start otherwise, I guess?
I would have made a 4 or an 8 bar chord progression with
Mm,
chords and strings, or
mm,
a basis that is rhythmically available to the listener, rather than just a
mm,
bunch of random notes. I like it. I love the way that it can, like, if I have like you know an hour or 2 hours or something, doing it this way does bring a lot of things you wouldn't normally do, like a lot of
mm.
things where you can add to it without adding too much, right? So like
Yeah,
if you add
yeah.
too much,
I feel like with chords you fall into a rut sometimes. Yeah, yeah.
and so I see the beauty of doing it this way. It's just the if I do it this way, then uh I have to. Ah, yes, that's what it is. So if I do it this way, I need to uh jam with it longer than I would if I
Mm,
had a chord progression. Like
yeah.
if and then I can really pick the notes that I are like, yes, this is the note.
Yeah. Well, actually, the notes that you had going on there were
Yeah.
now
Uh,
that I heard them over and over and over again, there's actually a good meditative quality to it. I could actually listen to that for a long time without tiring of it. There's a good ambient effect to it actually. Um, so
yeah, I'll just play it for here
yeah, can
for
you
the thing, whatever
share
the
share again. I actually want
oh
to
wait, I stopped
and
sharing. My
and
bad.
yeah, and pull the painting up as well. Um,
Okay, so
yeah, just for one
here
repetition or
we
whatever.
go.
Yeah.
Huh, play. I was
Yeah,
gonna mute this anyway. I or
uh,
not that, but mute this.
yeah, for sure. But that's a nice, that's a really actually, can you turn the metronome off?
Yep.
That's a really nice, that's a very nice sound texture. Like I like that a lot. It's
It
it's it's a very simple melody, but it says what it needs to say, and it's so simple that you can hear it over and over and over again without tiring of it. So I think there's actually something to that there. Um,
the timbre, yeah, yeah.
and the timbre is beautiful. It's like
Yeah.
cream, it's like so smooth. Like everything is, yeah,
I
beautiful.
think I just spend too much time thinking about the timbre too, and because this is a kind of a weird. It's not weird. It's just to try to make music to this is
So
kind of
if I might, if I can
absolutely.
offer some constructive criticism?
Yeah.
Um, what I think of this composition, like I said, like it has like really positive. I can say a lot of good things about it. Like I said, like it's got beautiful timbre and I like the melody and you can hear it over and over and over again and it's really cool and it sets like this very evocative picture. It brings you to a place. But the place that it brings me to is not this world. Like because this is in my opinion, and I wish other people were on these calls because we touch on these kinds of feedback often, but like this is the School of Athens by Raphael. So this is all about civilization. Like this is the founding of civilization and philosophy. Like this is Socrates and Aristotle, I think, or Plato and Aristotle, excuse me. Um, so to me, this is all just like this is about positive civilization and everything. Whereas the 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 place that this melody brings me to is like civilization has fallen to the barbarians. It's like smoking rubble. Like very tragic. But
In a way, it is pretty damn tragic though. Seeing this image in general, just knowing what happened.
true.
In a way, it's like a window into the past of holy crap, the demise that these people. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
it's
I guess it is how you look at it. I mean, I guess it depends on what do we mean when we say capture the the painting in music? Like,
you okay. This is a perfect example of what I can extrapolate from my brain. What would happen here, right? Instead of doing a flowery thing, the reason why I went to more of a tension slash uneasy feel is I was trying to convey contemplation. That's what I was trying to convey was contemplating.
oh,
And
meditative. Okay.
and
Yeah.
so like these
Yeah.
people in this room in the beginning I said like, it's like civilization being constructed almost. It's like it's the beginnings of a civilization that is flourishing into its social construct, its social awareness within the culture itself. And within that is a lot of pain and suffering. And if you look at I- honestly, if you look at just the people and minus everything around, the people are very uh every single one of them is in intense thought an intense like every single person in this photo that you see is thinking about something, every single one of them. Like you could name it. Like there's a guy sitting there with a pen in his hand, and he's like, "Huh, I wonder what this." There's a guy laying down, all provocative, weird, and he's like, "Huh, look at my leg. You know, I gotta shave these." You know? And then there's a guy over there, you know, pointing down to the mirror on the floor, and all the kids are like, "What is this? What?" There's a lot of curiosity, but there's also this like feeling. I don't know. When I see the clothes in general, I just
Mm.
see like I don't see bright and airy. I almost see like a darkness with what they're wearing and how
Mm.
they're acting. A lot of them are acting as if they're in just super deep concentration.
Yeah,
Uh,
and like I said, like it's so subjective. So there is no, it's not really right or wrong, obviously. That's why I wish we had other people to chime in. But to me, the melody that you hit with the children's choir and everything is like if I could describe it, it would be tragic. And but when I look at this painting, tragic would be is not. It doesn't look tragic to me. To me, I think it's a really cool piece of music, actually. But to me, it doesn't capture the painting. But yeah, like I don't know.
yeah.
It's
I mean, I think I think I mean this pretty much happens every time, right?
no, no,
It,
no,
it
not
does
every
though.
time.
Like, well, I mean, I always have a much darker interpretation of the paintings that you interpret as being light, pretty much every time,
Yeah, it's happened
which
a
is
few times
interesting
for sure. Yeah, but yeah, it's
because I think of like the lead in their pipes and like honestly, I honestly think of like the barbaric torture methods that right underneath what you're seeing all beautiful is probably some guy hanging by his neck with a
well,
fucking it's
so
like
any painting or any work of art depicting like times before the modern era though would have to be tragic then.
well okay, I guess I see the dark in the light more than I should, I suppose. Maybe I'm
Hmm.
more you know, and and more of an antagonist when it comes to thinking about like this time on Earth,
Yeah.
because most people view it with rose-colored glasses. I'd think, for the most part, and this is some of the most barbaric, heinous acts ever to known to man, just in history, has happened during some of these times. So it's kind of like it, for instance, if this was a if all these people were at a dinner, right, and they were at a dinner setting and they had some smiles on their face. I mean, look at, for instance, look at this. This is scary. Let's see if I can get over there. Oh, here we go. This that's scary. This guy's scary, man. I don't know. That looks like pure terror, man. And I know it's probably just curiosity and like, oh, really? Is this how it works? But like this guy's like just deep in his into thought and he's curious. Yeah, I mean what I mean is if the image was very if the setting was like delicate, I suppose. Like I
Hmm.
guess this is kind of delicate, but it's really rough around the edges just because of the humans in the room. Okay, perfect example. If the humans weren't in the room and I just saw the blue sky and the statues and everything, that would be bright to me. But the moment I see the people, I see a sense of frustration and sadness from not knowing.
Hmm. Okay.
Uh, it's almost
Interesting.
like ignorance is bliss in a way. Uh,
Yeah, like I said, I'm like I said, there's no right or wrong about it, and it's not really a declaration. It was just yeah, my opinion was that the music seems tragic and the painting doesn't, but again, like I'm glad that you explained it. again, it would be good if we could have like a voting system or something where people chimed in and we could hear what other people thought, because I think that would be really interesting. But
We could you want to try something real quick live? If you want 2 minutes, I don't know if
sure.
you got time, but okay, let's try this and let's see what happens. It might fail miserably, but this might be the coolest thing we've done. So
Okay.
let me do this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to
Are we
open
gonna
up.
leverage AI?
Oh, we're going AI, baby. You know what time it is. So there's a new thing called Google AI Studio, not a lot of people know about.
Okay.
And so I can take this, go into stream real time, right? And I'll switch this to my favorite guy, Charon. Yeah, the
Ah, he's the
Chief
eh,
Aaron. Yeah. Um, okay, so
no, he's the boatman in the Greek underworld, I think, wasn't it?
oh, I
He
didn't
boats
know.
you, he ferries you across the river Styx, I think.
Okay,
I
so
think I have that right.
okay, so Charon, can you see this painting right here?
Yes, I can see the painting. What would you like to discuss about it?
Well, considering we only have one viewer, which is Bending Star Audio, on the stream itself, I'm glad that you could join us, Charon, because we're trying to figure out uh, what you think about this painting, whether it's dark, light. Tell us everything that comes to mind.
Sure, I can tell you about the painting. It's a large fresco with many figures in it, with an architectural background of arches and columns. The colors seem to be more on the light side, with many shades of brown, orange, yellow, and blue. What else would you like to know about it?
Okay, well, we do this little thing where we take a painting and then we compose music to it. I'm going to show you on another screen here, if I can. Hold on one second. Let me just open up this, share this. Okay, so now we're in Logic, and I made a little music to that painting, and I want to know from you how close that it matches it or if it's way off. Okay?
Okay, I understand. So you've
Okay.
created a musical piece inspired by the painting and want me to assess how well the music matches the painting. Is that correct?
That is correct. Are you ready for the audio?
Yes, I'm ready. Please play the music for me.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, I'm ready to listen.
Okay, did you hear that?
Yes, I did hear the music.
Great. What do you
It
think?
has a somewhat The music has a calm and somewhat grand feeling with a nice melody. I think it captures the overall light tones and the sense of space and grandeur in the painting, but it is not a perfect match. It felt a little slow in tempo compared to the busyness of the characters depicted. Do you agree?
I don't disagree.
Okay, it sounds like we're in agreement then. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss regarding the music or painting?
What could I have done better to more match the painting better?
That's a good question. To better match the painting, you might consider increasing the tempo to reflect the painting's busy, dynamic composition, and perhaps adding some more variation to the rhythm or instrumentation to reflect the many figures present. Would you like me to elaborate on any of these points?
Not really, but I do want you to tell me overall, is there any sense of dread to this picture, or is the objective uh answer something else?
Okay, I understand. Looking at the painting, I don't perceive a sense of dread, but rather a sense of intellectual activity and debate, though some of the characters might have a pensive look. As for the objective aspect, I'd say it's a painting portraying a historical or philosophical setting. Does that align with what you were thinking?
Thank you, Sharon. We will have enough of that. Have a good day, sir.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure assisting you with your creative endeavor.
Goodbye. Pretty cool though, right?
That was bloody amazing. I cannot believe that just happened.
Man, so what I've done with this AI, right,
Oh my
is
God, man. I am so glad you did that. That was amazing. That
isn't
was
it kind of
incredible.
It's kind of cool, right? Like
That
being
was
able to,
incredible. Are you kidding? Yeah.
so we can use that for each one of our things moving forward,
Wow,
man.
wow, wow. And to be honest, man, the AI made a good point, which is the
Tempo,
busyness. Yeah,
tempo, yeah,
tempo, tempo,
dude.
tempo. Yeah.
Right when it said, it could have been when it very first said you could increase the tempo. I go, damn, yeah. Why didn't I think of doing something a little bit faster? Probably wanted to. Still would have been dreadful in death, but faster would have been matching
Wow.
that scene
Yeah,
better for
man, that was
sure.
amazing. That was so cool. Yeah, we should definitely do that every session, man. For every painting. Like
Honestly, if you wanted to, you could. I'll set it up with Bending Star Audio, so you could just go to the link. I'll put it on the Chrome, so you just click that, boom, and then real time, and then we could just share it each time, and then see what AI says. Actually,
wow.
dude, honestly, that's content. Like that's something that we could just talk
Yeah.
to AI and then upload that to YouTube for videos. Like having
Wow.
AI, and I've done this with tracks too. In the last week, I uploaded some MP3s to it, and it gave me the BPM, the chords. It was like, hey, you could do this,
Wow,
that.
that's genius, man. It really is. Yeah, and like so as far as like content, we'll have creating the track, talking about the art, and then talking to the AI about the track.
Exactly, exactly. Just perfect.
Oh man, that's amazing.
To further that slightly, there's also this thing called Notebook LLM, and it's also Google related. But you can take a piece of information or a MP3 or something, and feed it through LLM, and it will automatically turn it into a perfect sounding podcast. What I
Wow.
mean by perfect is the inflections and voice and the way that they pause and stuff like that is identical to a real human being. It sounds so good that it's kind of amazing. So if you have a really hard, complex topic, say for work or for whatever, that you want to just digest slowly over time, you feed it into there, feed it into the LLM, and it will talk to you for like as long as you want, a podcast style about the topic at hand.
Holy crap.
And
It's
so
amazing.
I've used that a few times for coding things, just for like hey, explain to me exactly how a server works when I'm doing it, da, 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 like what ports to open, and it will just turn it into a whole entertainment podcast.
Oh man,
It's pretty amazing.
we're gonna be completely worthless. Like
Oh yeah, I know, I know. I figure learn as much as possible so that I'm ahead of the curve, and yeah, man, somebody took that same thing and put it into Blender and just had compile functions, so every time, so it would automatically add essentially the code to Blender. So it was just the guy was like, okay, add a cube, okay, add two cubes rotating around another cube and make sure they're animated, okay, add another thing, add a light above and it was just brute force and it just by vocals, and it's like, holy shit, we are in new territory, man.
yeah, that's amazing. That is so cool. Okay, well, we got an answer then. We don't have to simply rely on each other's opinion. We got an
Exactly. It's finally here. Just for Composer Dome, we
That is
have
great.
our viewers, man.
Heck
But
yeah.
yeah, but if we get a good one of those, I'll that's great YouTube videos. So if I'll
Cool.
cut those out of the thing, and it's something to yeah, man. So
Yeah, I
pretty good
love it.
session today. Pretty good session. I think you definitely won today's coin toss, which is interesting since usually that the first person has difficulty going.
Sometimes it just comes together really well, and I think that one just came together really well. So,
I gotta
like,
keep
it was the one you gave me was easier because it was much more straightforward. Like, you
epic
knew exactly what you needed to
horns,
do, whereas
horns.
like the one I sent you was way harder, and that there's many directions you could go in. So, yeah.
The art that I send this Saturday coming up, I is going to be so hard to
Try to stump me. Do it.
I'm gonna stump beyond. I'm gonna use AI to stump you, dude.
Do it.
That's what I'm
Do
gonna
it.
do.
I'm ready. I'm ready for the challenge. Although I've bombed a few too. Don't get me wrong, but
That happens to all of us, man. Happened to me
you
today.
didn't. You did not bomb that one. I thought the composition was actually good and really cool melody. Like I said, great production.
That's gonna
Yeah.
be the 8 hour one. I'm just gonna have that for 8 hours and call it a day.
I mean, it might work. It might
All right,
work.
brother. Yeah, man. Good stream and to the future, sir.
To the future. See you next time.
See you.